Deep within the layers of our psyche, beyond what we show the world, waits a cast of unseen forces, shaping every choice we make. First, there is the wounded child, the echo of our earliest pain. It carries unmet needs, forgotten sorrows, and fears too tender to name. Then comes the seeker, restless, hungry, always moving toward meaning, forever searching for a self it has never fully known. And quietly beside them both stands the true lover, not the romantic ideal, but the one within us who dares to embrace every fractured part with radical compassion. These archetypes aren't fiction. They are us. They are the internal forces driving our patterns, our desires, our pain. And if you've ever wondered why your deepest wounds keep showing up in other people, why you attract the same pain in different faces, why your closest relationships mirror the parts of you that feel most broken, you're not alone. You're simply meeting your shadow. In Jungian psychology, the shadow is the hidden part of you were taught to reject. Your anger, your fear, your unworthiness. It doesn't disappear. It projects onto lovers, onto strangers, onto life itself. But there is another path. The path of individuation, a return to wholeness through the fire of truth. It is here you meet the self, not the ego, not the mask, but your soul in its full, undivided form. This is not a theory. It is a journey inward to face what you've hidden, reclaim what you've lost, and love what you were told to abandon. Because healing begins not by changing the world, but by turning toward the parts of yourself you've been running from. In this script, we'll embark on a transformative 5-step journey to break free from projection and embrace shadow integration. First, we'll identify the root wound that fuels your projections. Second, we'll recognize the signs of your active shadow. Third, we'll differentiate true self-awareness from mere denial. Fourth, we'll integrate self-love to confront and own your shadows. And fifth, we'll reject beliefs that reinforce projection, leading to wholeness. Let's begin by exploring the origins of the wound that blinds you to your own shadows. The root of the wound often traces back to childhood experiences of rejection, trauma, or unmet needs. For instance, a child ignored by caregivers might repress feelings of abandonment, forming a shadow of deep insecurity. These early wounds create unconscious blind spots where repressed emotions like anger or fear simmer beneath the surface. As we grow, this shadow influences our perceptions, making us attribute our unacknowledged traits to others. In Jungian theory, projection is the mechanism where we externalize our shadow, seeing selfishness in a friend when it's our own unintegrated trait. This process distorts reality, turning minor disagreements into major conflicts. For example, if you've repressed your own ambition, you might accuse a colleague of being overly competitive. The consequence is a life entangled in repetitive conflicts and failed connections. Strained friendships and toxic dynamics become the norm, as unexamined shadows lead to misinterpretations and emotional pain. This cycle reinforces isolation, where blame replaces self-reflection. To break free, we must first confront these roots and acknowledge our shadows. Now, let's move to recognizing the signs that your shadow is influencing your perceptions. One clear sign is heightened reactivity, such as overreacting to criticism that touches on your hidden insecurities. You might find yourself judging others harshly for traits you secretly possess, like impatience or envy. Unexplained self-sabotage is another indicator, where you undermine your own success without understanding why. Recurring themes in dreams or relationships often reveal repressed traits, like dreaming of betrayal when you're avoiding your own trust issues. For instance, projecting jealousy onto a partner might stem from your unacknowledged feelings of inadequacy. These signs serve as wake-up calls, offering valuable insights into your psyche. By confronting them, you foster self-compassion and reduce the urge to project onto others. Recognizing your shadow is a crucial step toward individuation and personal wholeness. This awareness allows us to differentiate between genuine insights and distorted perceptions, which we'll explore next. True self-awareness involves growth-oriented reflection, where you honestly examine your shadows rather than blaming external factors. It brings emotional stability, encouraging steady introspection instead of impulsive reactions. In interactions, it helps you see both your light and shadow, promoting mutual understanding and empathy. On the other hand, signs of mere projection include intense, irrational criticisms that fade quickly, often masking your own insecurities. For example, idealizing a friend one day and demonizing them the next might reflect your internal conflicts. Projection leads to superficial relationships, filled with conflict and misunderstanding. To combat this, try a practical exercise called shadow journaling. After each social interaction, write down your surface reaction, what you observed on the outside. Then, note the projected emotion, like admitting, "I see anger in them because I'm avoiding my own." Finally, uncover the core insight, such as how to integrate that shadow for personal growth. This exercise sharpens your ability to discern reality from distortion. By mastering this, you set the stage for authentic relationships, which requires integrating your shadow through self-love. Self-love, in the Jungian sense, means embracing your shadow, acknowledging those repressed traits as part of your full self. It's about honoring your entirety, including fears and desires, while setting boundaries to prevent projection. When you integrate your shadow, you raise the standard for your interactions, fostering genuine empathy and reducing conflicts. This process naturally filters out relationships built on avoidance, leading to deeper, more meaningful connections. To practice this, start with daily shadow mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror and affirm your shadow aspects, saying something like, "I accept my hidden fears as part of my wholeness." Use affirmations rooted in Jungian principles, such as, "My shadows contribute to my strength and self-understanding." These rituals build resilience and self-compassion, transforming how you relate to others. However, many people still cling to beliefs that require suppressing shadows for acceptance, which perpetuates projection. This leads us to the final step: breaking those limiting beliefs. The belief that self-acceptance demands shadow denial often stems from upbringing or societal archetypes, like the hero who hides flaws. In Jungian theory, this reflects collective unconscious patterns that equate perfection with wholeness. As a result, we use projection as a defense mechanism, avoiding our true selves. The consequences include codependency in relationships, where you lose authenticity and suffer emotional exhaustion. Instead, embrace a new framework: wholeness through integration. This means balanced acknowledgement of your shadows, coupled with clear boundaries for yourself and others. Such an approach allows for compassionate interactions, where you own your projections and communicate openly. To implement this, create a shadow boundaries list. Write down non-negotiables, like, "I won't project my insecurities onto my friends." Review this list weekly to reinforce your commitment. Practice assertive shadow communication through role-playing exercises. For example, rehearse a conversation where you say, "I realize I was projecting my fears onto you, and I apologize." These practices empower you to live authentically, free from the cycle of projection. As we conclude this journey, remember that confronting your shadows isn't about erasing them. It's about owning them so you no longer see them in others. This path leads to true self-understanding and meaningful connections. By integrating your shadow, you transform potential conflicts into opportunities for growth. Now, it's time to turn this insight into action. Start with a 30-day shadow integration practice. Each day, journal about the signs of your shadow in your daily life. Follow this by setting boundaries in your interactions, such as pausing before reacting to criticism. For instance, if you feel triggered, Write about it and identify the projection. At the end of each week, review your entries to track progress. Engage with a community for support, like joining a Jungian discussion circle or an online forum. Share your experiences there to gain feedback and reduce feelings of isolation. Over time, these steps will reduce your projections and improve your relationships. You'll notice less conflict and more authentic connections emerging. Ongoing individuation becomes a natural part of your life, fostering continuous self-improvement. For further reading, explore Carl Jung's works, such as The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. Books on shadow work, like those by Robert A. Johnson, can provide deeper insights. Remember, this journey is ongoing, but each step brings you closer to wholeness. As you reflect on the wounded child within you, acknowledge the pain that started it all. The seeker in you urges forward, seeking the truth behind your projections. And the true lover reminds you to embrace every part, shadows and all. Through this process, you'll stop seeing your flaws in others and start healing them within. Imagine a life where conflicts dissolve into understanding, where relationships are built on mutual respect, not hidden resentments. This is the power of shadow integration. Begin today by identifying one root wound from your past. Write it down and explore its impact on your current perceptions. Notice how this simple act shifts your viewpoint. As you recognize your shadow signs, you'll feel more empowered. Track your reactions over the next few days. Differentiate between true awareness and projection by journaling daily. Watch as your self-awareness deepens. Integrate self-love through mirror affirmations each morning. Feel the weight of your shadows lighten. Break old beliefs by creating your boundaries list now. Affirm your wholeness repeatedly. In your 30-day practice, commit to one small action daily. Share your progress with a trusted friend or group. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small. Over time, you'll attract healthier dynamics. Your inner wounded child will begin to heal. The seeker will find new paths of growth, and the true lover will guide you to authentic bonds. This isn't just theory. It's a practical path to transformation. Envision the freedom of living without projection's burden. Take the first step and watch your world change. Remember, the shadows you confront today become the strengths of tomorrow. By owning your shadows, you pave the way for genuine self-expression. No longer will you be blinded by what you see in others. Instead, you'll foster empathy and understanding. This journey, though challenging, is profoundly rewarding. As you integrate these steps, notice the ripple effects in your life. Conflicts will resolve more easily. Relationships will deepen with trust, and your sense of self will expand into wholeness. Finally, carry this message forward. True liberation comes from within. Embrace your shadows and step into the light of authentic living. The wounded child, once healed, becomes a source of resilience. The seeker finds peace in self-discovery. The true lover celebrates the full spectrum of your being. In closing, let this be your guide to a life unshadowed by projection. Start now and transform your relationships from the inside out. You've got the tools. Now, apply them with intention. Watch as your perceptions clarify and your connections flourish. This is the essence of Jung's wisdom in action. May your journey be one of profound insight and joy. Remember, every step you take brings you closer to your true self. No more seeing shadows in others, only in yourself, where they belong. Embrace the process and let go of the past. Your future awaits, bright and unencumbered. With each breath, affirm your wholeness. With each interaction, choose awareness over projection. And with each day, grow into the person you're meant to be. This script has outlined a path, but the real work is yours. Begin with curiosity and end with compassion. The shadows are not enemies. They are teachers. Learn from them and thrive. As you reflect on this, consider sharing your story. It might inspire others on their own journeys. In the spirit of the seeker, keep exploring. In the embrace of the true lover, keep loving yourself. And for the wounded child, offer the healing it deserves. This concludes our exploration, but your adventure is just beginning. Thank you for embarking on this path of self-discovery. May it lead you to greater peace and fulfillment. Remember the quote, "A man who has not confronted his own shadows will see them in others." Now, you're equipped to confront them and see clearly. Go forth with confidence and self-awareness. Your shadows are waiting to be integrated. Transform them and transform your life. This is not the end. It's a new beginning. Carry these lessons forward every day, and always return to the archetypes that guide you. The wounded child, the seeker, the true lover. They are part of you. Honor them and honor yourself. Farewell, and may your path be illuminated. End of script.